Hello, I am B squared, or if you're feeling frisky, you can call me Brett. So, I kind of wanted to try doing some commentary while playing video games, which obviously is not anything new. I don't want to do it as a career or anything like that, it just seems like it'd be fun. But what game would I want to commentate over? So I thought, let's try something that's near and dear to my heart. And one of my favorite games of all time was The Wonderful 101. It was a game on the Wii U made by Platinum Games, known for Bayonetta, uh, Near Automata, more recently Astral Chain. They do great stylus action, and putting them with Nintendo seemed like a great fit. Unfortunately, this game came out and bombed, seemed to fly under the radar, no one knew about it, and it just kind of lied dormant for years. But we're going to change that today. Uh, Platinum ended up having a Kickstarter a couple months ago trying to raise money to port this to the Switch, PS4, and Steam. I was a backer. I got my code. This is about a week or so before the official release for everybody else. So we're going to take a look at Wonderful 101 Remastered. This is not going to be a 100% run that's going to be perfect play or anything. This is just going to be casual fun. And we're going to give this a shot, and hopefully I can get across why this game is so special to me. So, with that said, we'll give this a shot. I know of a few things that are different with this version, but there's a lot that I still have to kind of see for myself, so we're going to figure this out together.
The alien invasion of Earth will be met by a group of fearless warriors that number just 100 souls. 100 wonderful defenders of our world. Their faces are forever masked. Their tombs are forever unknown. They are the Wonderful. I knew we forgot someone. You.
And that's why it's called that. Yeah. So we're going to start. Huh. I don't... I thought I deleted all my data. Okay. We'll start with this. That should be fine. Okay, so here we go. All the tutorials should still be intact. I was just kind of poking around earlier. So this game was on the Wii U. It had touchscreen controls. You had segments where you had to look at the gamepad for things. But thankfully, they kind of future-proofed it by putting a picture-in-picture function in the original game, and now that's in this game, which is how we're going to be handling this. I'll be honest, I don't really know how well this is going to work. I think it's going to be awkward no matter what. It's the kind of thing that was just kind of built into the game, and they couldn't really take it out. So we'll see how it works. But yeah, obviously you can do a touch screen. You can have both on the same screen. I mean, they put in some work, because you couldn't do all this in the original. It was like just picture-in-picture, or you could like swap the screens, what you were looking at. So there's multiplayer here. We're not going to touch that. That's not even something I would recommend doing right away, because you have to, like... It's weird. They give you certain abilities you don't have at the start of the game, but not all of them. It's an odd beast, and I kind of find it hard to believe you'd find a bunch of people that'd be willing to play this in local multiplayer, so... We're just going to go straight story. So Platinum, the Platinum Standard, their games tend to be, a bit on the harder side. I don't think Wonderful 101's that bad, but, obviously there's a reason there's easy and very easy. And as you can see, there's more space down there for others. The way Platinum games tend to work, they expect you to start on like the base difficulty, and you will unlock harder difficulties when you beat the game, basically indicating that you are finally ready to go up a notch. These are not games that are really designed for you to go into the hardest difficulty straight away. You have abilities that you have to gain, and generally speaking, it'd be a very rough time if you started on the hardest difficulties. So, trust me, you kind of need the normal run as like a tutorial for the whole game. I will do my best to explain things. There's going to be a lot of exposition at the start. But for now, just sit back and watch this intro.
Kids, everything's gonna be fine. Just stay calm and stay close to me.
What a nerd. Okay, our first mission is to save these kids. Just run into them to grab them and add them to your group. And then we'll just keep going. I'm going to try and get the best ranking on this that I can, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yep, I missed a kid. Yep, I'm a terrible teacher. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, we got gold. So, yeah, this is a how Platinum Game does their thing. You will get ranked based on how fast you do a mission, among other things.
Come on, Mr. Wedgwood, jump! Hurry!
Don't worry about me. Just get somewhere safe and hide.
Mr. Wedgwood!
Don't worry, we'll see you again, Tara Strong. Someone looks a little more heroic all of a sudden.
Or else.
Those poor A-posing students. There's P-Star.
P-Star.
Yes.
Roger.
Okay then. So we'll make our way across this absurdly gigantic school bus. We can dash and we can jump for right now, but we will unlock more abilities as time goes on. Let's jump in here. And yeah, in a second we should encounter our first enemies. Yep. These are the Dogu. Pretty much every enemy in the game is like a Japanese pun. I'm not well versed enough to know what all of them mean, but I think those are like referencing like old like spiritual dolls or something like that. Kofun. Again, I'm sure someone could enlighten me, but I don't know off the top of my head. And that's how Will's story ends. Thanks for playing, everybody. But how'd that happen?
Wonder Eyes red.
You gotta do the repeat cut.
Utilizing the psychic switches on their wonder pendants, the special combat agents of the wonderful 100 don their sentinel suits in a mere 3 billionths of a second. These powered exoskeletons' ultra-dense biometallic fibers grant super strength, transforming mere mortals into invincible defenders of justice.
Here's the real star of the show.
Special combat agent, Sentinel's Planetary Secret Service, Blossom City Field Office, also known as Wonder Red.
The Crimson Fist. Why aren't you in Smash Brothers, damn it? We know exactly why, I already covered why. And that's a pure platinum, okay. And now it's time for the best theme song ever. Here's our currency, really quick. I hope you are ready for even more henshins. This is far from the last one we're gonna see. Oh man. How can you not love this game already?
By the United Nations, the Planetary Secret Service Organization, known as the Sentinels, is dedicated to defending the Earth from alien invasion. Amongst them, 100 souls from 100 cities around the world
man.
have donned a powerful exoskeleton.
I immediately fell in love with the tone of this game.
Their secret combat agents known as Wonderful Ones.
This gag kind of goes on a little too long, maybe, but I think it sets up how seriously you should be taking the story at most points.
Approved as mentally sound. Only the
It's a team of 100 superheroes. That's really all we need to say.
frontline defenses. From valor in battle to secret intelligence gathering, they undertake each mission with the utmost skill, while concealing their identities as most classified. Their faces are forever masked. Their tools are forever unknown. They are proud to go down in history.
Oh no.
As simply 1 in 100. They are the 100 most wonderful defenders of our world.
Come on, man, you can do it.
One
Get back up there. He gets smacked by everybody.
If it isn't Elliot Hooker, Wonderful One from the Los Angeles Field Office.
It's a very unfortunate name.
Wonder Blue.
Time for intros, dude. Unite Morph already.
Oh, right.
And here's our main gameplay mechanic.
By merging their wonder energy, special combat agents of the wonderful 100 link together in single file to form the Wonder Liner.
So basically, we're going to be drawing a lot of symbols. But we'll get more into this, and the game itself isn't going to really skimp on the exposition.
Secret weapon of the wonderful 100, which enables them to recreate real-world objects by rearranging pseudo-digital subatomic particles according to a bubble memory blueprint, and linking their bodies electronically together, unleashing awesome power.
Of course. Elementary, really.
Unite Sword! Ha! Dude, feel the sting of my Valiantium blade.
We're going to be hearing that a lot. The Supersonic Blade.
Wait, you guys are all?
Wonderful ones who don't have time to wait for some new. We gotta stop that bus, dude.
Roger.
I believe that's new. I don't recall seeing that in the original game release. Alright. Team attack. That's kind of like a homing attack kind of thing. Don't worry about that too much. We have access to 2 Unite Morphs right now. Unite Sword and Unite Hand. I didn't do very well with combo. but that is what it is. Whoops. Run away. We'll hop in here. So these, as they will tell me, are wonderful batteries, filling our Unite gauge. If you've ever played Viewtiful Joe, very similar to the VFX gauge, which should make sense, since Hideki Kamiya directed both of these games. This is a health item. We already got one segment of it filled. I'm going to go back to Unite Hand. And now the next major mechanic.
Extends the Wonderful One's wonder energy to ordinary citizens, electroplating them with tiny wonder masks that both protect and transform the citizenry into wonderful reinforcements.
So we don't just save people, we recruit them. So, here we are. As you can see from the top left, we don't have 100 team members right now, so we're going to have to deal with that in due time. But there's one right there, so let's recruit him real quick. And here is Wonder Professor. Is a bit of a side mission of sorts throughout the whole game is finding the other wonderful ones that are scattered throughout the world. So we will be seeing way more of those. I'm also gonna try and get as many of these batteries as we can here. Okay. There's a lot to talk about. If it seems a little confusing, you know, that's kind of understandable, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But basically, we're going to be drawing shapes to fight things, not unlike Okami, while using characters that are like Viewtiful Joe. Platinum's not bad. Definitely could do a lot better.
Team, unite, chain.
Okay. Here, let's try that again. Let's actually get the batteries that they placed for me. Okay, there we go. Was there anything over here? No. Sometimes there's going to be secrets. I am not going to find any of the secrets. I feel like they're pretty hidden. But now we have a full Unite gauge. And there's a few other people we could recruit right there, just to get a few more numbers. And we gotta save those opposing students before it's too late.
No time for breaks.
Then we're just gonna have to build up the tracks and go airborne. Dude, what? Unite, build!
Can we build it? I think so.
Unite Build allows Wonderful Ones to instantly analyze a structure for gaps or deficiencies and synthesize the missing components. The magic of pseudo-digital subatomic particle
Oh dear.
enables the Wonderful 100 to literally make things out of
It's hard to
thin
keep it up sometimes, you know? But we're not done.
Wonder punch!
The power of public transit. Good job, team.
Hey! Wonderful 100! No way! Wonderful Ones, can I have your autograph? Why would you want those liars' autographs? Double O Schmumbalo. How can they save the Earth when they can't even save one person on it? We're better off without them!
Oh, Luca. I will have words for Luca, but now is not the time.
Luca.
And here is the Virgin Victory, our main base of operations. Everybody gets a title card. Everybody. But that will do it for the prologue for the most part.
I
I believe we've identified this planet's primary defense and our primary target.
They will bow before me, like all the rest.
What could that possibly mean? And yes, there are actually a lot of achievements in this game that are bottle caps.
Well done, team.
Okay. So yeah, you get graded on how fast you complete a mission, your combo points, and whether or not you took a lot of hits. The better the score you get, the more money you get, basically, which lets you buy more stuff, which we will get to in a second.
The wonderful 101.
Just in case you forgot which game you were playing. So yeah, go to the Wonderful Mart with our O parts. The game really wants you to go there for a very good reason. So recommended stuff will have P-Star symbol. They want you to get Unite Guts and Unite Spring. So what the hell does that mean, right? Well, we go here. These two abilities are incredibly cheap. We can't even buy the other ones. And these are essential. I don't know why to this day they don't just include this in your base moveset and force you to buy these, but you really can't progress through the game without them. I did a little testing. It's technically possible to get through the game without Guts, but it's not a very fun game. So Guts is your counterattack, basically. Turn into a big ol' pudding gelatin thing, and you will just reflect blunt attacks. So we will get that. And then Unite Spring is your dodge. Bloop. And there you go. Very essential. So there's going to be way more Unite Morphs we can buy as time goes on. I'll show them when we get to them. But these are essentially optional. You don't actively need these to beat the game, but they are helpful. As far as everything else to go in the menu, in the mart here, so we have a bunch of health items. This stuff will refill your Unite gauge. And then the torpedoes and the Shocking Red, those are weapons that will basically be screen wipes. The Wonderful Dummy, I think, is basically like an extra life, essentially. And Treasure Sensor will help you get a lot of secrets, of which there are many, many secrets. Most Platinum games, generally they view items as a crutch. You buy them to help you get through tough sections, but the game wants you to build up the skill to not need them. Usually in their games, if you use an item at all, even like a small health thing, just to get you a little bit, you would get a point penalty. But in this game, that's restricted only to the best items. So the Wonder Steak, the Parfait, and the Torpedoes, I believe. I don't think the Shocking Red does. Oh, it does. Okay. So yeah, so these ones will all dock your score. The other ones will not. And you can purchase, a limited amount. But I'm probably not going to bother with these too much. Not because I don't need them, but, the game doesn't want you to use them all that much. So custom blocks. These are essentially like badges in Paper Mario, if you want to look at it that way. We don't have the money to buy any of these yet. They're very helpful, especially Okami. Okami, really quickly. Press the jump button just before taking lethal damage to nullify that damage. This is a godsend if you want to do perfect runs and get the maximum score. Because even if you get a hit and you get knocked back, if you perform the Okami correctly, the game won't actually count that against your score. It's very useful. These are all useful in their own way, and we will also get to these when we have the proper funds. But and you will also kind of essentially gain more points to have more blocks available at once. But we'll come to that when we come to it. And then skills, these are permanent upgrades. They're pretty useful. So Attack Liner turns the drawing itself into an attack. Speedliner speeds it up, which is a godsend. I'm probably going to save up for this, actually. Formation Charge, you know, it lets you do a better team attack. Team attacks in general are basically used to like stun enemies slash like let you home in on them, which we'll get to. You'll see a bit more of that as the game goes on, obviously. And now multi-unite. So in the base game, way back when, you had the ability to have your other excess members of the team do their own unite morphs while you were doing your own attacks. If you drew the symbol and hit the team attack button, they would just do a little automatic combo while you were off doing your own thing. You could have, like, I think 4 of these going at the same time, and it was a mechanic that they added, like, very late in development. Like, I think a couple months before the game was going to ship, they just decided to do it. And it barely made it in. And the game, I don't think, even really told you it existed. It was like a secret technique, basically. But now they have made it a purchasable skill. Multi-unite. So, we'll look at the preview here to kind of show it. But, yeah, so they're off doing their own thing, while the character you're controlling doesn't have to be doing anything. So this is Multi-Unite 1, which means there's going to be multiple of these power-ups to buy as the game goes on. Obviously, I don't know if they've tweaked the number or not. I think it was 4, but we'll have to wait and see. It's useful, again, but it's not necessary. I find it odd that they decided to make this a skill. This was likely a thing they were going to do in the original game. They just didn't have time. So that is our shop. There's a lot to cover with the game, obviously. It's a very complicated game, but that'll do it for the prologue. This game kind of just keeps moving, so I'm going to do a quick save, and we'll continue with the next official mission of the game here in a second.